The calm before the storm episode of Arslan. A bunch of build-up, a bunch of setup for the final battle between Silver Mask versus Arslan, and more talks about a prophecy focusing around Silver Mask and Arslan. So, the episode. It retains the standard nature of Arslan, with some comedy, to some foreshadowing, to some setup, to preparations for the final battle of Season 1. Because we know for a fact, even though we're getting into the battle with Silver Mask and Arslan, there's no way in fuck this can be the final battle of the series. So, we're probably going to be left on a cliffhanger after the battle is done, and then maybe they might announce a Season 2, which I hope they do. I do want to see how this concludes and how Arslan is going to govern his kingdom once he finally gets it. But anyways, let's talk about the episode. So, the beginning of the episode, I guess the Alfred scene with, like faking us couples, that made up for the lack of give in this episode. Like, if it wasn't for that little scene in this episode, I felt like it would have had a lack of comedy when it came to this episode, besides the paintings of Narcissus, which is something I want to talk about. The scene with Narcissus, like with that entire conversation with Arslan, Narcissus, and all that, it felt like that was setting up a death flag. Like, yeah, I saw a death flag there. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't know what to believe, because I don't know if this series is willing to kill off someone as important as Narcissus, so I don't know how to feel about that death flag that I saw in the conversation between Narcissus and Arslan, but I'll kind of just look past that for now, but I wanted to mention that. The thing is, Narcissus' paintings is something I've always wanted to see since the beginning of the series when we first started, seeing it come out, because we've never really got to see Narcissus' paintings of why everybody kind of looks like they're about to throw up or very shocked because of whatever he draws. And I wonder how they really look, because once again we get to see Narcissus drawing in this episode, but we don't really get to see exactly what is on it. And I want to see, I really hope before Season 1 of Arslan, we get to see a painting from him. I really do. And if he does die, most likely we'll see a painting he drew right as he dies. I see something like that happening. But getting back on topic, the beginning of the episode with the comedy scene, I felt like it was pretty damn funny. It definitely was one of the better moments of the episode with the Alfred scene and just seeing how we had the freaking comedy, the romance and stuff. It was great. It was definitely great seeing those two characters together, and it made me want to ship them. I really ship them hard now after seeing that segment of this episode, and I don't believe I'm probably the only one that wants to ship those two together after witnessing this episode. Now, moving into the middle half of the episode, we have it to where we have a setup for the war. For instance, Silver Mask is getting an army of 100,000 strong to where he can go up against Arslan. And in the midst of setting this all up, we come to find out more about a prophecy between Arslan and the Silver Mask. And I really don't know how to feel about that, because it was mentioned once before in previous episodes, but I still don't know how to feel about a prophecy when it comes to Arslan. It really doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't, but we need to know more about that to really understand the full grasp of this prophecy and different information like that. But besides the prophecy, the setup with the army, I wonder how, Arslan's going to combat this giant army, because for the first time, actually, which I'm glad it did happen, something unexpected happened that Narcissus didn't even realize could happen. Like, for instance, the commanders and the person that was commanding the armies, he did a decision with, using men, 100,000 men and stuff, that kind of surprised Narcissus, and Narcissus didn't slightly expect that at all, which leads into a situation to where Narcissus didn't get to plan everything, and that is all according to plan. So I like how it's going right there, because it won't be the exact same copy and paste fights we have seen from previous episodes of Arslan. There might be a struggle with Arslan's army versus the Silver Mask, and that'd be kind of a great way to conclude this season if it does have something like that. Now, in terms of animation of the episode, animation looked pretty damn good. I mean, it wasn't as good as some episodes I've seen of Arslan, but it was pretty good. There wasn't as a lot of still frames as I've seen from previous episodes, so that was a plus right there. Music soundtrack, the same old music we've heard since the very beginning of Arslan, so not really much to say about that. And that's pretty much the episode of Arslan this week. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.